Hello, my name is Michael Driscoll, and today we will learn about dictionaries. Dictionaries are a fundamental data type in Python. A dictionary is a key-value pair. Some programming languages will refer to a dictionary as a hash table in their language, or a mapping object. Usually you have a hashable value, which is the key, and then you have the value at the other end. Dictionary keys must be immutable, so in other words, they cannot be changed. Starting in Python 3.7, dictionaries are now ordered. Before that, they were unordered. So, when you create a dictionary, you couldn't depend on the keys being in any particular order. But now they are. That's really awesome, really. If you've been using Python for a long time, you'll kind of enjoy that they're ordered now. So to create a dictionary, there's a couple different ways to do it. The most common method is by placing a comma-separated list of key-value pairs within curly braces. It's easier to just kind of see an example. So here we have a dictionary. I can't make that any bigger. The dictionary keys are first name, last name, and email, and the values are James, Doe, and this email address. You can also use Python's built-in dict, open close parenthesis function to create a dictionary. Dict accepts a series of keyword arguments, like 1 equals 1, 2 equals 2, that sort of thing, to create or you can also pass in a list of tuples, or even another dictionary. Here are some examples. So, in this case, we're going to create a dictionary with this sort of thing. If we run this, it'll automatically convert these values into strings, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. Another way to do this would be to create a list of tuples, which is what this is. Square braces indicate a list. Regular braces indicate a tuple. So if you use the dictionary keyword here and run this, the output will convert each of these tuples into a key value pair in a dictionary. So the first example uses a dict on a series of keyword arguments, whereas the second shows how to create a list that has 3 tuples inside of it and converting it to a dictionary. If you want to access dictionaries, it's super duper fast. In fact, that's the dictionary's claim to fame, is that they're one of the fastest data types for accessing the values. You can access any value in a dictionary via the key. If the key is not found, it will raise a key error. So let's go ahead and find out how to do this. So if I want to access the first name in this dictionary, you just do the name of the dictionary, square bracket, the name of the key that you want to access, and then end it with a square bracket. So if I want to grab the last name, you can just change that out. Now we got the last name, changes the email, and you'll get the email out. Let's try it with a key that doesn't exist, though. So, for example, we know that address isn't in that dictionary. If we run that, you will quickly get a key error and know that you've done something wrong. You can also use Python's in keyword to see if a key is in a dictionary. So we could check, instead of just trying to access it, we could ask Python, is address in our sample dictionary? Python tells us that's a false assertion, so that doesn't work. We can check and see if first name is in it. That's true. So you could use that kind of logic to determine if a key is in a dictionary. You can also check if a key is not in a dictionary using Python's not keyword. So in this case, we could say first name not in sample dict. Well, we know that's false because the sample dictionary contains first name. So if we print this out, you can see that first name is one of the keys. So that's why this one returns false, which is a little bit, you just have to think about not in. Sometimes the not keyword is kind of confusing. Address not in sample dict. Well, that's true because address is not a key in the dictionary. Dictionaries have lots of different methods. And we're just going to go over a bunch of their methods right now. The first method we'll go over is get. The get method will get a value. It requires you to specify the key that you want to look for, like we were doing before, but it also lets you return a default if the key is not found. So if we want to say get address, it'll return none because we didn't specify a value. If you want to, you can specify the default and say get address, and it will return not found instead of none. That's up to you how you'd want to handle that. But that's one way around that issue that we were just seeing earlier. Another dictionary method is clear. You can use clear to remove all the items from your dictionary. So if we have a dictionary with 3 items in it, and we call clear, and then ask the dictionary what's in it, you can see that it's now empty. So that's an empty dictionary. Now, if you need to create a shallow copy of a dictionary, then the copy method is the one that you want to use. So here we have a sample dictionary. We want to create a copy of the dictionary, so you do sample dict.copy. And then when we print it out, you can see that the copy dict now contains the same data as what was in the sample dict. If your dictionary has objects or dictionaries inside of it, you may end up having some weird logic issues later on because of if you change one dictionary, it can actually affect the copy. If you run into these problems, go look up Python's copy module, which has a deep copy function that will actually create a separate, completely separate copy of the dictionary for you. Anyway, dItems. The items method will return a new view of the dictionary's items. So if you run this code, you get this kind of weird little first name, James. It kind of prints out weird, but it gives you the items that are in each item that is in the dictionary. I almost never use the items myself, but that's there for you in case you need to use it. D.keys, though, I do use a lot. It will get you all the keys as a view object in the dictionary. If you're used to Python 2, Python 2 would actually return a list of keys. So in this case, when you run this, you do get kind of a list, but it's a dictionary keys view. So if you print out the type of sample dict .keys, you'll see that the type is dict keys. It's still iterable, and you can still iterate over the keys like you would before, like for key and sample dict.keys. We could print out the key, but it's not quite the same. It doesn't work quite the same way that you would expect it to because it's not a list anymore. D.values will return a view object, but this time it's going to be the values. So here we get the values James Doe and the email address. It's basically the complement to the .keys method. D.pop. So if you need to remove a key from a dictionary, pop is one method that you could use. It will take in whatever key you want and an optional default string. So if the key is not found in the dictionary, a key error will be raised. Let's go ahead and look at an example. So we want to pop out the something key. Well, as you can see, this dictionary doesn't have a something key, so you'll end up with a key error. However, if you tell Python's pop method what to do, or the dictionary's pop method, it'll just print not found instead of raising an error. Let's try popping out an actual name from the dictionary. So this time we pop out the key, and it will return the value. So the first name is James, and if you print sample dict now, you should see that oh, I can't run this again because it's, yeah. If you print this again, you can see that first name is not in there. I can't run pop twice on the same key because the key's already gone. That's why it's complaining. Yeah, so the first name is no longer in there, so you get a key error. You can also use pop item to remove and return a key value pair from the dictionary. So if you care about both values, this is how you go for it. Pairs are returned in a last in, first out order. So if you called it on an empty dictionary, you'll also receive a key error. And the same thing would happen with pop. If you call pop, well, I guess pop you have to pass a value in. So anyway, so let's run this pop item. It pops it off the end. So email and jdoe is the last item on the list. If you run this again, over and over again, like let's say we copied and pasted this, run it twice, it's going to pop this one off, and then the one that prints out is the second item in the list, or the dictionary. You can actually modify dictionaries. Let's assume that we want to modify a value. You don't really modify the keys. You just modify the values that the keys point to. So in this case, we're going to add an item to our dictionary. We're going to go ahead and add the address. So to add a new key, you just use sample dictionary, open bracket, and then the name of the new key, and then the equals to the new value. So when you run this code, now you can see that it has 4 items in the dictionary. If you'd like to update a pre-existing key, you can just type in the key name and just set it to a new value. So we're going to change from jdoe@gmail to jame@doe.com. And when you run this, you can see that the dictionary key has been updated. Let's go ahead and talk more about deleting items from the dictionary. One way to do that is to use del, which is a keyword in Python. In this case, we're saying delete the sample dictionary's email key. So if you run this, you'll quickly see that that key is now no longer in the dictionary, and it doesn't return anything like pop did. Which we already talked about pop. Pop will pop it out for you, which we can't really see because I'm not capturing the output of pop. If you have any questions about this particular talk, feel free to drop them in the comments, or come visit me on my blog and you can comment there too, or just send me an email. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.